What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's been a while. I have been gone for a little bit, but there has been some personal issues and personal things I had to deal with that weren't very nice, that were very, very horrible. But I'm back. I am back just in time for Halloween. My channel is horror inspired, of course. For Halloween this year, I thought I'll do another movie ranking list. Today we shall rank the franchise of the Child's Play / Chucky series. Quite a big fan of this franchise. I do feel that it has more hits than misses, but there is some misses in this that I cannot ignore. But without further ado,
let's get into this one.
Coming in at the bottom of the barrel is CHUCKY. Now, I pretty much hate this movie. I hate it so much. It's god awful. It's just bad. They went from being this kind of weird, kind of like, they went from Bride of Chucky, which is just this kind of weird, kind of like black comedy, kind of like kind of meta movie when it concerns the Chucky franchise, which was passable. It was okay, but this one, they've gone straight in, completely weird comedy angle. The film isn't funny whatsoever, and I just think it's just awful. The Glenn and Glenda character is pretty shit, awful as well. Kudos to the film from going into that kind of plot line where there's that kind of weird kind of identity crisis with the Glenn / Glenda character. Kudos for that. That's a cool concept to be doing in, like, you know, the early 2000s, whenever this fucking movie came out. But yeah, I still hate this film. I don't think it's enjoyable at all. I think the plot is fucking shit. Yeah, everything about it is just shit. I don't like it. I don't know what else to say. It's just bad. So we're gonna get on to our number 7. Number 7 is Cult of Chucky. Yeah, tried to like this one. Really did. Just couldn't. I like the concept of, like, sure, they're in this weird kind of like psychiatric ward thing where the main character from Curse of Chucky is being held because they think she's gone crazy, but she knows deep down that Chucky is still about and still out there. And anytime she sees a good guy doll, she goes mental and thinking it's Chucky. The bit that really confuses me in this film, doesn't confuse me, I know what's going on, but like, I don't like the whole, you know, this whole new kind of rule that Chucky can, like, split his soul into multiple good guy dolls. So now there's multiple Chuckies, and then in the end he becomes the girl character, the main protagonist of the film. He kind of transfers his soul into her. So now you've got like 3 different Chucky dolls. Tiffany now in someone's in a body, and now you've got Charles Lee Ray, his soul back in this fucking girl's body. It's awful. I hate it. Like I said, I don't like either of these picks. Number 8, number 7, they flip flop. But I think Seed is worse than Cult, but Cult isn't very good. I think a pick later on in the list will piss a lot of purists and a lot of elitists, will piss them off because I chose that one over this one. But there is a reason, and I'll get to it. Anyway, we're going to move up. We're going to move up to number 6. I enjoy the rest of these, so this should be a bit better. Yeah, number 6 is Bride of Chucky. I did mention it earlier. Bride of Chucky was a cool kind of like meta horror film. I like the way they bring Chucky back, where you got his girlfriend Tiffany. She does the whole voodoo thing on him and brings him back as the doll. He's got the cool kind of sewn up face look, which is mostly what people recognize him as now these days. I do like it. I think Tiffany as a character is really cool. She's like sort of evil, but I like it where she has these kind of moral dilemmas where she doesn't really know what to do or what to say, or she's not sure of herself with certain things, which is interesting. I think Jennifer Tilly has the perfect voice to voice a somewhat evil evil female doll killer character. And I think the opening of the film, Jennifer Tilly as a human character, Jennifer Tilly as in general, I just think is really, really good looking in this movie. And yeah, I just think it's generally a really good film. Probably the weakest in the best bunch, I suppose, with Child's Play, Chucky, but definitely better than Seed and definitely better than Cult in my opinion. But yeah, that's Bride of Chucky. Not too bad, not a bad one, just not as good as the rest. Let's go up to number 5. This is going to piss people off, but I don't care. My number 5 is Child's Play, the 2019 remake. I really liked this remake. I think it's really well made. Really well made. It has some of the goriest kills in the whole franchise. The one thing I would say about remakes, because you probably noticed that there's quite a few remakes of horror films that I generally quite like. Friday the 13th being one of them that people really don't understand why it's my favourite, but it is. Yeah, the thing with remakes, I feel, is that if you're going to remake something, don't do a shot for shot like the Psycho 98, because it's just, what's the point? You're just copying the same movie. With a remake, I think you should take the core concept of a already existing film and maybe give it a different spin, a different look. Maybe thrust it into the modern times. And I think Child's Play 2019 did that, and I really enjoyed it. Do I like the design of Chucky? Not really. I think he's a bit creepy. I mean, he's meant to be creepy, but I just think it doesn't look very good. That's the only problem I have with the film. I do like the whole smart device kind of plot line where it's one that's gone rogue and it's just gone a bit crazy and starts to like copy things and learn how to kill, and it's pretty brutal. I really like it. I generally really enjoyed the remake. I think it's a good one. I think if you haven't given it a chance, give it a chance. Much better than it deserves to be. And I commend it. I commend it for it. And if there's going to be a sequel, I'm down for the sequel as well. Give me more of that. I like the direction it went in, and it needed to go in that new direction, and I applaud it for it. It's great. Number 4 is Curse of Chucky. This was kind of like, for me, the long-awaited return to form after Seed. Long time coming after Seed. I think it came out in like 2012, I think. I could be incorrect. Correct me in the comments. But yeah, Curse of Chucky is a very, very, very good return to form. Very slow burny. I think it's like halfway through it takes about 45 minutes before Chucky kind of reveals himself to the characters. There's some really fucking brutal kills in this as well. The eye stab, fucking nasty stuff. Nasty. It kind of starts off, you think it's kind of a reboot, because Chucky looks like a new doll. But you find out as you go through the film that he's just layered his face over with makeup and new kind of prosthetic kind of face skin to make him look like a new doll. And you realise that it is the scarred, sewn up face Chucky that we know from Bride and Seed. And I like where it kind of ties into that. It does do this thing where it tries to retcon kind of like the beginning of Charles Lee Ray and how he has his tie with his family and he's in love with the protagonist's mum, but then she rats him out, so he comes back and kills her. He does that. I think that's a bit weird because it doesn't really tie into the first film very well with that retcon, but I think that's just a small little detail that you can just kind of like just push aside, and you can still enjoy a really entertaining Child's Play Chucky horror film. It's definitely a return to form after Seed of Chucky, 100%. It's much better than that film, one of the best in the franchise. And yeah, Curse of Chucky, it's really good, guys. I highly recommend if you haven't seen it. My number 3 is Child's Play 3. Child's Play 3 is a weird one for me because I remember hating this film for the longest time. I didn't think it was very good at all. But as I've grown up into adulthood, I've really kind of appreciated this film for what it is, and it is a pretty standard slasher film, horror film, but I think it's got enough charm to it, and it's got the Chucky character. You've got Brad Dourif, who plays Chucky so well that I feel that it's got a lot of charm. The bit where he kills the barber and just goes like, he's like, "Smile, you're dead." Like, some of the quotes are really cool. I love the bit where it's pretty cold, it's pretty brutal, this film, in terms of the ideas of these kills. Where you have the two teams, red and blue, they're practicing a skirmish as it's set on a military school. They're practicing a skirmish, and it's really bleak, where basically what Chucky does, he takes out all the paintballs, he places them with real live rounds, and it kind of turns really bad, as you can imagine. Some really cool ideas in this. It ends in this weird kind of amusement park scenario where they're going into this haunted ride, and yeah, Chucky gets destroyed that way. But I think it's quite underrated in the franchise, and yeah, went from hating it when I was younger to actually quite appreciating it now. It's definitely a grower, and yeah, quite like it a lot actually. Check that one out, Child's Play 3. I definitely think it deserves more love, so go and do that. Do it now. Number 2 is the original Child's Play. It's a classic, isn't it? It's fantastic. The origins, the beginning of the Chucky character. I think the guy who plays Andy, the little kid that plays Andy, is a really kind of fairly decent child actor in this film. I love that whole idea where people think he's going crazy and maybe he committed the crimes in this film, but yeah, you know, he's trying to convince everyone, oh, it's Chucky did it, Chucky did it. I think it's just a really well made movie. The whole voodoo thing's really creepy. Everything about it is just like, it created the killer doll, and I just kind of love that idea. It's very cheesy, it's very hokey, but in this film it kind of does work, and it works really well. Especially like moments where you see him running around, they get a small child to put on the costume and run around. It's really clever filmmaking, so it makes it look like the doll is alive, and I really do like that. Practical effects as well. The ending bit where he's all burnt and messed up. Practical effects are fantastic in this movie. Love it to pieces. So yeah, Child's Play is my number 2. Some people would probably have it at number 1, but it's number 2 for me, for reasons that we're going to get to now. My number 1. My number 1 is Child's Play 2. I fucking adore this movie, guys. Chucky is the best he's ever been in this film. Brad Dourif does an amazing job of performing his, you know, doing the character with his voice is so good. I love the characters in this. Andy's kind of like new sister-in-law. He goes to a new foster family. His new sister is really cool, and she adds this kind of the only person that kind of like believes Andy and about Chucky and about that, and just everything about this film is a step up from the first film. I think it does everything better. It's kind of scarier, and it has probably one of my favourite final acts of a film, set in this toy factory where you've got hundreds of good guy dolls where they're being manufactured, and you've basically got Chucky stalking Andy and his sister, and it's so well made, it's so well done, the framing, the shots, everything, and you know, the way they kill Chucky is just brutal. He gets torn apart in this machine, and then they just like blow him up at the end. It's so well done. I love it. It's my favourite Child's Play film. It's the best one in my opinion. I don't think they're going to top it. It's excellent. I can watch it time and time again. It never gets old, and I think everyone else should watch it time and time again, because it is the best one in my opinion. That brings us to the end of my Child's Play ranking list. Let me know how you would rank the Child's Play series down below. Let me know your favourites in the franchise, and especially the ones you hate. If you don't hate all of them, great. If you love them all, let me know. Let me know why you love Seed, why you love Cult. But yeah, if you like what you see here, guys, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and you know, if you dislike it, hit the dislike button. It's there for a reason. But anyway, as always, I've been Jason. It's Halloween.
Don't get too scared now, and I'll see you next time.